An easy project. I picked it not so much for the project as to demonstrate a technique. The project is actually an adjustable smartphone or tablet stand. It's from Steve Good. I've mentioned him before. I'll mention him again. I'll give the information to his site in the description. But there's only two parts. There's the stand that sits flat on the table or desk or whatever, and then there's a little gizmo that the phone will rest against, and there's 4 positions where you can, no, actually there's 5 positions where you can place that. The main reason I chose this was to demonstrate a technique. The technique is stack cutting. The stand is 1/2 inch thick material, and I'm going to stack cut 3 of them. I've already cut the material to basic size. So I took it here, put a piece of double-sided tape on it. Now I'll put another piece on top of it, push it down a little bit. It's going to hold it in place. Put another piece of double-sided tape on top of that, and peel off the backing and put the 3rd piece on top of this. Again, push that down a little bit, and those are stuck together. Now we want to attach the pattern to the top, and there's a number of ways you can do that. My favorite, if you've watched my videos, any of my past videos, is scroll saw tape. And that's what I'm going to use here. That's in place. So the base is ready to go. Now we need to do the same thing. We need to attach the patterns onto for the other piece. The other piece I didn't have the 1/4 inch walnut handy, and I didn't want to spend the time to mill down some walnut to 1/4 inch thick. And I did have some cherry though, and if you look at these two, you put the cherry against the walnut, and there's a nice contrast there. So actually I kind of like that a little bit better. Alright, the next step is to do the upright, or whatever you want to call that. The double-sided tape is actually wider than that piece, so I cut it in half and cut them to length. I don't need them as long as the piece. So I've got 4 pieces of this cherry now, and I only need 3, but the beauty about stack cutting is that it doesn't take any longer to cut 4 than it does 3, so I'll have an extra piece. So if I decide to make another one of these later, all I've got to do is cut the base. I've got some scrap scroll saw tape. This stuff, I love it. It's not cheap though, I'll tell you that. I've got a video on 9 different ways to attach patterns to wood, paper patterns to wood. This is number 8 out of 9. I'll link it so you can watch that video if you haven't seen it and you're curious. If you're new to scroll sawing, or even if you've been scroll sawing for a while, there might be at least one technique in there that you haven't seen or thought of before. A little bit. Okay, that's ready to go. Now the next step is there's a bunch of holes in this upright piece, and there's, what did I say, there's 5 holes in here plus the corners need to be rounded off. I'm going to go over to the drill press, make those holes, and round off the corner, and then I'll be back. These cuts are all got sharp corners on them, so I don't know that I would consider this a beginner project. Maybe an advanced beginner, a beginner with some experience. For sure anybody with intermediate skills could do this.
I've been cutting on the scroll saw, cutting all day long. I've been cutting on the scroll saw, and for that I wrote this song. Can't you hear the blade a cutting so early in the morn? Can't you see the sawdust falling on the floor? Sawdust gotta fall to the floor. Sawdust gotta fall, keep on to the floor.
Okay, I found from experience that sometimes you can get a little bit of a gap by pulling with your fingers. I got a little one there, and then I got a small screwdriver. You want to be careful because otherwise you might scratch the wood. There we go. That took care of that. Pull off the tape. And the same thing here. If you got a little bit of a gap somewhere, use that as your starting point. I mentioned this on another video, but I don't think I published it. I'm not sure I will. There were some problems with it. Double-sided tape, do not use carpet tape. Carpet tape is much too strong, and so you don't want to use that. There are double-sided tapes that are more suitable. I bought this online. I haven't really checked the big box stores, but they're probably going to have different double-sided tape. Alright, so those are the base. This is going to be the one I'm a little concerned about because these are small and they've got all those cuts in them. There we go. Yeah, I came apart without too much trouble. There's the completed stand. I have it with a small smartphone on it, just to give you the idea of what it looks like. There's several settings for height. Probably want it more like that for something like this, but it can go way back here too, and I think those other settings, anything farther back than this, is probably more suitable for a tablet than a smartphone. But it's a nice little project, not too difficult. I used it mainly to teach the concept of stack cutting, but it certainly is a good item to add to my inventory as well.